The Chargers solve a problem that they denied was a problem. If you're looking for LeBron James's soul, he sold it to Madison Avenue. And the Rams don't think their pass defense needs an upgrade. Good morning. I'm James. And this is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos morning report. So, it is October 8th, 2025. I am so jet lagged, I can't even see straight. But we're going to get through this episode because we have got a lot of good stuff to talk about. And if you like being in the know about LA sports, click the like button. Click the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop an update. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. By all means, comment. Now, before we go through the news and notes, a quick look at the scoreboard. Colorado 4, Kings 1. The Kings had a nice little surprise for the fans. They decided to debut third jerseys right before the puck drop, which you can get, of course, at your local Team LA store. But then, of course, they follow that by just laying down and dying in the home opener. Ick. It's literally like deciding to wear a tux for your wife and then having explosive diarrhea. The less said about that match, the better. Meanwhile, today, Philadelphia is at the Dodgers at 6. It's Game 3 of the National League Divisional Series. The Dodgers have a 2-0 lead. The Phillies have to win to keep their season alive. Now, you might find this hard to believe, but Dave Roberts now concedes Roki Sasaki is, quote, definitely the primary option now to close games. No. Nah. Where did that come from? Am I right? Meanwhile, Yoshinobu Yamamoto starts for LA, and the Phillies are starting Aaron Nola, who used to be Aaron Nola. The dude is 5-10 with an ERA over 6. Looks like a good day to just end the series, wouldn't you say? Meanwhile, the Kings were at Las Vegas at 7, and Toronto's at LAFC at 7:30. What do you say we get to the news? The Chargers are in desperate, so desperate need of upgrades at offensive tackle. Either side. They're down to third stringers there. For that matter, they could stand an upgrade at running back. They're down to third stringers there too. So, what do they accomplish in the trade market? An edge rusher. Okay. So they go and they get Odafe Owe from Baltimore in exchange for starting safety Alohi Gilman. In the trade, they also swapped day 3 picks from future NFL drafts. So the trade gives you a little pause because didn't the Chargers tell us just a few weeks ago that edge rusher isn't really a problem? Right? After all, Khalil Mack, such a tremendous athlete, so flexible. His elbow is actually supposed to go in the exact opposite direction all of our elbows go. What an athlete. Well, apparently it's a big enough problem to send away a guy who's been a starter for 3 years. This is the culmination of a fundamental problem that Chargers brass has had ever since the G. Harris blinded himself because he forgot fireworks go boom boom. They never admit how bad their players are injured. Never. They're still not admitting that Khalil Mack could be washed. This trade signals he could very well be, because this is actually a strong deal if they're thinking about next season, the season after that, or for that matter, if Mack ain't coming back at all, or at least not coming back as Khalil Mack. I mean, if Mack retires, yeah, this is a great idea, because without Khalil Mack, who was injured in week 2, the Bolts' pass rush has been totally non-existent. Tuli Tuipulotu, 4 sacks and 27 pressures. No other Charger player has more than 8 quarterback pressures. They were telling us, Mack's not going to be gone that long and the next man up and all that. Bud Dupree simply hasn't answered the demand, guys. Now, Owe was pretty solid for the Ravens. He had 10 sacks a year ago. He still hasn't reached his physical prime. He's only 26. But There's a reason he was available. The Ravens cut his snaps. Why? Because they didn't think he was that effective against the run. So as a result, the dude went from 10 sacks last year to 0 now. So they're going to have to coach this guy up a little bit. And by the way, this is the final year of Oweh's rookie contract. This makes the deal obviously a bigger risk for the Bolts than Baltimore. The Ravens are 1-4. If they can't sack Matthew Stafford on Sunday, the Rams will drop Baltimore to 1-5. So yeah, they may as well sell everything off. Current general manager for the Bolts, Joe Ortiz, came from Baltimore, so he knew who he was dealing with. So I'm assuming everybody involved is like, yeah, we're boys, we're going to make this a fair deal. But again, you're not telling us how bad it is on the pass rush. We still have no idea how you're going to solve the massive problems on offensive line, which, by the way, you're totally denying exist. To me, what this trade says is, we think that no matter how bad the offensive line looks, we believe those guys are going to come back quicker than Khalil Mack. We have no idea how long we're going to be without the guy. Now, in trading away Gilman, the Bolts just weakened their pass coverage. You could claim Elijah Molden is the next man up. You could be the LA Daily News and suggest Tony Jefferson is the next man up. If you think it's all good, I'm just going to have to disagree with you a little bit. The Chargers run 5 defensive backs, but they prefer 3 safeties because their corners are suspect. So now, if you go out in nickel coverage as your primary backfield, you're going to have 2 safeties and 3 corners most likely. The corners are suspect. The safeties weren't. So, if you're trying to trade strength to get a little upgrade where you really need a boost, I don't really have a problem with that. But nobody's addressing the bigger issue. Is Khalil Mack going to be out way longer than what the Chargers have previously suggested? And by the way, what about that offensive line? If you're a Bolts fan, feel free to let me know what you think. Now, the team did attempt to address running back. They signed Naheem Miller-Hines to the practice squad on Tuesday. He's a familiar face or something. He did play for the Chargers. He also hasn't played for anybody since 2022. So, yikes. A lot of Charger news. Shocking absolutely nobody. LeBron James's second decision clip isn't to retire. It isn't to ask for a trade. It's much worse. It was a brazen, corny booze commercial. And by the way, making Let's Drink Heavily your second decision, not always the best decisions. That should have been LeBron James's first clue that this idea was bad. Even for a guy like me, I believe in capitalism. Me heart capitalism. Even I'm sitting there like, that is a soulless cash grab. That is why people like Karl Marx, I'm telling you. How many bottles will I have to power through just to blot that cringe out of my memory? My skin is still crawling. It was so bad. It kind of reminded me a few years ago how California used to be in so much debt. Oh, they're still in debt, but they were in so much debt that they were thinking of selling advertising on Amber Alert freeway screens. You know, the little flashing signs you see in the middle of the freeway. Oh, be on the lookout for this missing senior citizen. And then be on the lookout for all the great deals at Walmart. That's how cringe that idea was. As for a decision that didn't smell like Madison Avenue just barfed on your foot, the Lakers are saying that James is unlikely to play in any preseason games, which matters much more than selling bottles of liquor. The Lakers have 4 more preseason games to go. They're still claiming he'll be okay for the regular season. James has been sidelined with a nerve irritation in his glutes, but he has been ramping up his workload. Sean McVay told a radio station that upgrades to the Rams roster, particularly at cornerback, hasn't been something discussed in the inner sanctum of the franchise. That unit just gave up 342 passing yards and 2 touchdowns to Mac Jones this past week. And yet, they're just whistling past the graveyard right now. The secondary simply hasn't been good since Ahkello Witherspoon suffered a long-term clavicle injury in week 2. Unlike the Chargers, the Rams admitted blasting out your clavicle actually is a thing. So, credit for that much. The Rams have given up at least 200 passing yards in each of the past 3 games without Witherspoon. I can understand why they're not panicking yet, because if the pass rushers remembered to rush passers, we wouldn't be having this discussion. So there's that. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me, for example. Yeah, the Chargers solved the problem, but aren't there bigger ones that should have been addressed first? You tell me. For that matter, LeBron James. Are you really surprised the second decision turned out to be an ad? And if you enjoyed the update, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James, and we'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Take care.